That stays on the left side. Mic stays on the left side. Because it will not sit properly. इसमें बना है ना कान के ऊपर it sits on top of the ear and then yes.
ऐसे क्यों करना है? Thank you for clarifying. हरी हरी. बच्चों को क्या करेंगे हम लोग? We cannot become tapas and sit here.
Wire, bring it down. Oh, it's tangled on the mic. Yeah, that side, and from the front and down. Yeah, that's good.
It's okay. Are बच्चे okay, बेटा? Should be good. Yeah. We have no space here. So many parents here, so बच्चे will be okay.
Will we do demo?
At 9 o'clock, क्योंकि online 8 o'clock for us. So we'll do the pranam mantra. So all welcome. Thank you. With the mercy of Shri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada, we are here for Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan. We are so very grateful. Each time we are saying Krishna, each time we are singing, each time we are doing Kirtan Katha, we are pulled out of the karma cycle. One a bit at a time. So yeah, pranam mantra, please, all of us together. Om Ajnanatinandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrachatam Sahagana Raghunadham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishnuthanu Sute Devi Pranamani Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evascha Patitanam Padalebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Chaitanya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvisesha Srinyavadi Paschatya Tisacharani Stale Stale Yasya Kripa Prabhavidhi Krishnani Yat Krishna Jana Samhitanam Nirmulita Eva Bhavanti Tasmai Namo Namah Shri Narottamaya Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Tirum Yat Kripa Tam Aham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Devam Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhiraya. That's Vyasadeva. That was Shri Guru Narada. कुछ है क्या ऐसा यहाँ लगाने के लिए something actually this is good.
No, she owns the platform.
I think this is okay. Oh, thank you.
That height. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if it can withstand it. Is that it? Is that okay? Thank you so much.
Before retire.
Oh, यहाँ से है. Okay. Yeah, that's good. We do this also. This also. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you can go as far as you want.
Okay,
The
Mataji.
wire is very long.
Tell me,
Yeah,
is that better?
but I think this one, yes.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you. Where are we now? We are not in a movie. हम लोग वहाँ पे हैं. So we are with Sri Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. Yeah. So far in Srimad Bhagavatam, welcome to you all of you here for being here, and welcome to all the devotees online too. So there are two sections here. We have some online Sangha here and in person also. So if you see me, if you look at me seen here and there, it's because of that. Without the help of all these wonderful Vaishnavas, we wouldn't get the Krishna Katha and Krishna Kirtan. Thank you so
Can you
much.
present this going to the hearing? The one that's shared is not full screen.
It's not full screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
So share this one.
can you see? That's from my phone.
I think,
This
Are we good now?
yeah, this one you can go.
Is that what permission?
Yeah.
Happening? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Srimad Bhagavatam is none other than Lord Krishna himself. We have discussed about the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam and then the speciality of Srimad Bhagavatam. How Srimad Bhagavatam is Gandharaja himself. How Lord Krishna is present in Srimad Bhagavatam from the lotus feet to the very crown. From the first canto to 12th canto. Okay, this is okay. Yeah. And after that, we have discussed about how all the cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, how they are linked from the first canto to 12th canto. And then we got into Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we discussed the four subject matters in Srimad, first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's first one is questions of the Naimisharanya sages. Second one is Narada Vyasa Samvada. Third one is Stutis by Uttara, Queen Kunti, Bhishma, and Dwarakavasis. And the fourth one is all about Parikshit Maharaj. So, in the first topic, about 6 questions of Naimisharanya sages, we have talked about in the first chapter, the first 3 verses of what is Parama Satyam, and then what is Paro Dharmam, and the third one is the invitation from Srimad Bhagavatam to relish the nectar of Shuddha Bhakti Rasa. Yeah, those 3 verses in the first chapter. After that, 6 questions of Naimisharanya sages are posed by Shaunaka Rishi in the first chapter. Those 6 questions are: what is the ultimate good for the humanity? Second one is: what is the essence of all religions? Third one is: why did Lord Krishna appear here as son of Mother Devaki? And fourth one is: what are Purusha avatars? Fifth one: what are Leela avatars? And sixth one: where did Dharma take its shelter after Lord Krishna left this planet? Those are the questions in the first chapter. Answers to these 6 questions are present in the second and third chapters. And those answers are the essence of all religions and the ultimate good for humanity is Bhakti Yoga. And when that is described in the second and third chapters, everything about Bhakti Yoga was described. What is Shuddha Bhakti and what are the byproducts of Shuddha Bhakti, that is Jnana and Vairagya, and how Varnashma Dharma also should help with Shuddha Bhakti. All those contents are described. For the third question of what is the reason for Lord Krishna's appearance here? That is to rescue the souls, the saintly souls, the souls that are present in the mode of goodness. Fourth question of who are Purusha avatars? There are 3. First one is Mahavishnu, and from Mahavishnu is Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu is Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu is the Vishnu that is present in all the living entities and every atom. Yeah. And the next question is: what are Leela avatars? There are many, infinite, but Bhagavatam describes about 22 Leela avatars. And the source of all these Leela avatars is Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. And the 6th one is: where did Dharma take its shelter when Lord Krishna left this planet? The Dharma for Kali Yuga people comes from Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srimad Bhagavatam gives us the information of Bhagavan Krishna about bhakti, how to revive our relationship with Bhagavan. All that is present in the Bhagavatam. That's how Dharma in Kali Yuga takes shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. In other words, for Kali Yuga people to perform our Dharma, our Sanatana Dharma, we take the guidance from Srimad Bhagavatam. That's how the first 3 chapters are done. The first topic was done. And the second topic was, after the 6 questions were raised, were answered by Sutta Goswami, then Shaunaka Rishi expresses gratitude and asks 3 more questions. Those 3 questions are: would you please tell us the context of how the Srimad Bhagavatam came? What is the inspiration for the Srimad Bhagavatam to come? Yeah? And second question is: Srimad Bhagavatam is said so very well, and Parikshit Maharaj heard it so wonderfully. Would you please tell us about Parikshit Maharaj, his birth, his palana, his ruling, and how did he happen to take the curse? Parikshit Maharaj heard it so wonderfully. What about Sukadeva Goswami? We heard that he was a Mahabhagavata. Yeah? So would you please tell us about Sukadeva Goswami too? These were the 3 questions that were answered in the 4th chapter of the first canto. And this is how the rest of the first canto falls in place. For the first question of, can you please tell us about Vyasadeva? The 4th chapter covers about that topic. From 4th to 6th chapter covers that first question about Vyasadeva and Narada. Yeah? And after that, about Parikshit Maharaj is covered from the 7th chapter on, starting from how Brahmastra comes out, when Ashwadhama releases it, until Parikshit Maharaj ruling, taking curse and everything. And the last question of Sukadeva Goswami, please tell us about Sukadeva Goswami, comes in the very last chapter of the first canto. This is how the whole first canto is populated and how they are related to each other, all the chapters. Now we are in the 4th chapter. In the 4th chapter, we have finished the first half in the 4th chapter, we are dealing with the first question about Vyasadeva. In this first question, there are about Vyasadeva, we can divide it into 3 parts. One is about Vyasadeva's contemplation of why he is feeling vacant in spite of compiling all these Vedic Shastras and simplifying them, giving it to as Puranas and Itihasas also, being so compassionate to the people in Kali Yuga. Despite all this, he didn't understand why he was feeling so vacant. Yeah, so that's the first topic, the first question about Vyasadeva. This Vyasadeva's contemplation. And when Vyasadeva was contemplating like that, then Narada Muni, his guru, Sri Guru Narada Muni, arrives there. So that's how 4th chapter ends. And when Narada Muni comes there, then Vyasadeva receives him very respectfully. And he asks the same question to Sri Narada Muni, asking him why he was feeling despondent inside. Then Sri Narada Muni starts answering his question. He was very kind to dissipate his distress inside. Just by getting the right answer to our question and the direction to our journey gives huge relief, abundance of light in our journey, right? All our depression goes away. So that's what Sri Narada Muni did. So now we are in the 5th chapter. That's where we are. In the last week, what we have discussed about is Sri Narada Muni came and then he was talking to Vyasadeva. Yeah. So Narada Muni was addressing Vyasadeva and saying, okay, Vyasadeva, are you feeling okay now? Since you have elaborated Vedas and even Puranas and Itihasas, you must be feeling okay, isn't it? You are really compassionate, huh? And you knew so much of Vedas and you compiled it so well. You must be feeling all right, don't you? Then Vyasadeva says, no, please, please, you know how I am feeling. You are like air that is pervading everywhere. You are like sunlight that is pervading everywhere. And you are like Paramatma that is present everywhere. Because you are all this, you would know what I'm going through. And this is when we talked about Guru Tattva. How Guru Tattva is eternal compared to the Paramatma. Actually, the Guru Tattva, origin of Guru Tattva is Paramatma within. When we are searching for our identity, for the purpose of our life, the first person who would know that is, even before we know, Paramatma knows it. That's how Paramatma makes arrangements outside. And he continues to give the inspiration from within. Ajnana aham ajnana ajam tava. His Lord Krishna is saying that I'm sitting inside as Paramatma and I'm dispelling all the darkness. Who is that dispelling darkness? That is Guru, right? So the source of all Guru is actually sitting as Paramatma. The whole source of Guru Tattva is sitting as Paramatma. So that way we have discussed about the significance of Guru Tattva last time. And how Sri Narada Muni did 2 things. One is he has diagnosed where the problem was, where it went wrong. He said, see, you have overly glorified Dharma Artha Kama. All the distress and the karma cycle is because of Dharma Artha Kama, and you have glorified that. And that wasn't so good. So in order to rectify the situation, please glorify Mukunda. Please abundantly glorify about Sachid Ananda Vigraha, who is filled with that Ananda. And only then you will be filled with Ananda and all the living entities will be filled with Ananda. So he gives the solution also. Yeah. So when Sri Guru, this is the magic of Sri Guru. Because he's seeing us penetrating through the soul, knowing all layers, not just mental layer. They can see us through the soul. So their diagnosis would not go wrong. It's only a matter of our great fortune that we get that guidance and instruction from Sri Guru. It's only a matter of time that we understand that it is our savior for the life, not that we are doing a favor for them by following their instruction. It's a matter of time only. So that way, when we get instruction or guidance from Sri Guru, that's our light, our saving grace. And they also give, they will tell us where we have to do it right and how to do it right. Okay. So Guru Tattva is our savior that we have discussed. And then Narada Muni have explained how Dharma, the Kama, all these Gramya Kathas are just like a place for the crows. Tadvaya Santirtha Mushanti Manasa. And Nayatra Hamsa Niramanti Usikshayaha. And that place is not really entertained by the Paramahamsas. So, Vyasdeva, please abundantly glorify so the Paramahamsas also can get some relishment. Why is it like that? What is the unique thing about Vasudeva Katha? Tat Vak Visargo Janatadha Viplavo. Janat Adha Viplavo. Because we all conditioned souls are filled with passion and ignorance from within. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. To dispel that passion and ignorance, which are the reasons for sense gratification / sin, according to the Vedas. Yeah? All that can be dissipated only by one potency, that is Vasudeva Katha. So that's why these transcendental matters are very important. That's why you please abundantly glorify. That's what Narada Muni says last time. And here, how he also says how not only Dharma, the Kama, Moksha are inferior, the Dharma, the Kama are inferior, even Moksha too does not come on par with the Bhakti, because na shobhate jnana malam niranjanam. Even the jnana that is guiding us to do the Nishkama Karma Yoga, even that jnana, Achyuta Bhava Vachyutam. If it is devoid of Achyuta Bhava, the bhavas or the feelings of loving relationship with Bhagavan, if that kind of jnana is devoid of those kind of feelings with Bhagavan, na shobhate. It doesn't shobha, it doesn't look so good, Vyasadeva. So even moksha also, you may put it aside, but please abundantly glorify Vasudeva. Yeah, so we have discussed it there. And then, so we can say, yeah, these are all the things that we have discussed. Yeah, so Nashobhate Jnana Malam Niranjanam. And now Narada Muni is saying, he's continuing the glories of Bhakti. Please pay attention. All of us have started Bhakti Yoga. Some are initiated, some are aspiring to initiate, some are just getting to know what Bhakti Yoga is. No problem, we are in the journey. The question is, Narada Muni is continuing to describe about the glories of Bhakti. First one is, Tadvad Visargo Janatadha Viplavo. In the sinful lives of the people and in the contaminated hearts, Vasudeva Kada brings spiritual revolution. That's one thing. Yeah. And next one here. This is the second one. Even if somebody practicing Bhakti Yoga does it only for a little bit of time and cannot do further, for whatever reason, their spiritual bank account is good. At least there is something in the spiritual bank account. And that spiritual bank account will stay forever. हम लोग का material bank account है तो we don't know when it will go. We don't have to leave the body. Something wrong with the software, something with this, whatever is going on, we don't know what will happen to that account. But with the spiritual account, once whatever we have done in bhakti is gone into that account, and that is going to save us. Life after life, that is going to build up that spiritual account and is going to save us, give us the shelter. That's what Narada Muni is saying. That is why Bhagavata is so beautiful. We are running around to do checklist the whole day, and we have things to do, families to take care of, and routine life to hai. Like we are souls, yeah, and what to do about our spiritual journey. And that's why we are hearing from Bhagavata, Sri Narada Muni. This is the place of bhakti. This is what spiritual bank account means. Please repeat after me. Tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam hare. Bhajan apakko atah pati tato yadi. Yatra kva va bhadram abhudamoshya kim. Ko varthapto abhajatam swadharmataha. Ko tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam hare. If, see, we have whatever varna or whatever ashrama that we may belong to, whatever profession we may be doing, however excellent we might be in our profession, and whatever responsibility we may have as a grihastha, mother, father, this relation, that relation, however perfectly we might be doing it, ko varta apto abhajatam swadharmata. What use is of that? That is Shramaeva hi kevalam only if there is no bhakti in it. If it is not Krishnized, that is Shramayeva hi kevalam only. On the other hand, if somebody is not a perfectionist in their responsibilities or in their profession, but if they are putting something in their spiritual bank account, they are practicing bhakti, Krishnizing, then bhajanapakko atah pati tato yadi. So in the process of doing the bhakti yoga, doing the responsibilities, Krishnizing it, even if they do it for a little bit, whatever little bit they have done, it is going to sit with them and come with them life after life. Apakko adah pate tato yadi. This is apakwa, means out of immaturity in the devotional life, even if they can't continue bhakti, even then they are rescued because they have something in their spiritual account. So in this way, even if these are naimittika dharmas, even if our naimittika dharmas are done perfectly, but if there is no Krishna there, it is Shramayeva hi kevalam. But if our naimittika dharmas are done okay, Krishnizing it, actually, if naimittika dharmas are done Krishnizing it, we can perform that better. But here the sloka is, even if somebody cannot continue the journey for a long time, then there is no loss. That is the potency of bhakti. That is something that can come with us life after life, doesn't end with this life. And the next one is, here, the one more beautiful thing here is, and the 19th sloka here, Smaran mukundagri upaguhanam punai vihatum ichen narasagraho janaha. This sloka is saying, once somebody starts bhakti yoga, gets a taste of service to the lotus feet of Govinda, a droplet of taste to the service to the lotus feet of Govinda, Smaran mukundagri upaguhanam punai. Smaran, thinking of that taste in the devotional service to the Lord. Mukunda angri, this lotus feet of Mukunda. Upaguhanam punai, thinking of that same thing again and again. Vihatam ichenna rasagraho janaha. They can't really taste anything. Anything else doesn't taste better for them. Though they cannot practice bhakti, for some reason if they give up, they are not going to be peaceful because they got the taste of service to the lotus feet of Mukunda. That's the potency of bhakti. So somehow or other, if somebody is starting bhakti yoga, they are bound to get a little taste of it when they're doing service together with the devotees. And when they're having a Vaishnava Sangha like that, these things, these memories come back to us. If you see Srila Prabhupada's disciples, if you read what they have to say, this is the sloka that comes out lively there. For some reason or other, if they couldn't practice also, all the sweet memories come back again and again to them. They cannot leave. Once booked with Akila Rasamrutamu Karuna Sindhu Shri Krishna is always ever booked. That is his mercy. Because the sweetness of the service and his smarana is so sweet that we cannot give up. So that's the next sloka. That's what 19th sloka is saying. And the third one, 18th one is coming out very beautifully. Because bhakti is so potent, one is it can cause spiritual revolution in the heart. The other one is, even if it is done a little bit, the spiritual account will come with us life after life. And the third one is, even if somebody cannot do it for a long time and had to give up out of whatever circumstances, he still cannot forget how wonderful it was when they were serving the lotus feet of Mukunda in Bhakti. Because Bhakti is so special, and this is the icing on the cake, 18th one. Tasyaiva hetuhu, we'll do it together, please repeat it. Tasyaiva hetuhu prayateta kovido.
Tasyaiva hetu prayateta kovido.
Na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyadaha.
Na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyadaha.
Talabhyate dukhavadanyadha sukham.
Talabhyate dukhavadanyadha sukham.
Kalena sarvatra gabhiraram hasa.
Kalena sarvatra gabhiraram.
Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, Sri Narada Muni is saying, no matter what you do, even if you work hard in this life, you are going to get only what you are destined to. Yeah? Na labhyate dukkhavat anyadha sukham kalena sarvatra gabhiraram hasa. With the effect of the kala, whatever has to come, the happiness and distress in this life, it will come. You don't have to put any separate effort for that. That's why taseva hetuhu prayateta kovido. So you better prayateta, put effort for that thing. It is referring to the previous sloka. For that thing that can help you revive your sambandha with Bhagavan. Because anything else, you don't have to toil for that. It's going to happen anyway. So that's why you have to glorify Bhakti. Tasyaiva hetuhu prayateta kovido. Kovido means this is the opinion of the learned Panditas. What is that opinion? That we have to utilize our life to revive our relationship with Bhagavan. Anything else other than that, happiness or distress, will automatically come anyway, no matter what you do. So that's why your time, focus, and attention should be spent in Bhakti Yoga to revive relationship with Bhagavan. This is why you should glorify Bhakti even more, Vyasa. So these are all the reasons Narada is giving. After saying all this, he is summarizing. Vyasadeva, you have talked about idam hi pumsas tapasa shrutasya va.
Idam hi pumsa tapasa shrutasya va.
Swishtasya syutasya cha buddhi dattayo.
Shritasya sukritasya cha buddhi dattayo.
Aviccheto kavibhi nirupito.
Aviccheto artha kavibhi nirupito.
Yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. Vyasadeva, idam hi pumsas, tapasa, austerity. Shrutasya. Shrutasya is, we have to look up, I forgot the name. And swishtasya, can somebody look up please? That's 22, Canto 1, Chapter 5. One is scholarship and suktasya. Buddhi dattayo, intelligence. Dattayo is charity. Avicchito artha kavibhi nirupito. All these, the tapas, the shruti, shrutasya, the essence of the Vedas, and swishtasya that we have to look up to. And buddhi, intelligence, dattayo is the charity. So one may be doing all this But yad uttama shloka gunanuvarnanam, none of these things can come any close to Gunanuvarnanam of Uttama Shloka. Who is Uttama Shloka? Who is the one that is praised with the choicest poetry? That's Lord Krishna. Yeah. So Lord Krishna's Guna Anuvarnanam. If so, all this put together cannot do a bit of what a Krishna Katha can do, where there is glorification of Uttama Shloka. That is why Vyasadeva, please glorify our deity about Vasudeva. Okay? So that's the end of what Narada, Sri Narada had to say to Vyasadeva, the reasons of why he should glorify more about Vasudeva, Sri Krishna. Yeah? And then he thinks, don't think I'm just saying this theoretically. I'll tell you about my life. I'm saying all this because I've gone through something. And I'll tell you about my life. And so I will be a testimonial for whatever bhakti can do. And then Narada Muni starts explaining his previous life. In the previous life, if you see here, Narada Muni, he was a son of a poor maid servant. Yeah. So once, in the Chaturmasya, when there's rainy season, all the sages, they cannot do the traveling preach. They have to be at one place. So at that places, in those days, they used to have, what do we call here now? Motels, right? Yeah. But in those times, they used to have some people who would volunteer to offer seva to those traveling preachers, the sannyasis. So this boy's mother was offering that kind of seva to the traveling sannyasis to cook for them like that. Yeah. So this boy is Narada Muni in his previous life. So whenever I say this boy, it's Narada Muni in the previous life. Okay? This wonderful boy, not this boy, wonderful boy. Yeah. So when Bhakti Vedantas came there to their place, so his mother was giving the services, and because his mother was giving, of course, the son would help. So that's how the son got the opportunity to serve the Bhakti Vedantas. And what happened? The magic. Something here. Look at the qualities of this wonderful boy here. Tulya Darshana, he was impartial. Alpa Bhashini is not talking more than what is needed. Yeah. And Dhrita Kridandake, unnecessary sports. Unnecessary sports. Clearly looks like he's not an usual boy. Not an usual boy. A wonderful boy. I don't want to say unusual boy. So, but those were the qualities. It just says, those qualities themselves say that that particular soul is very receptive. Receptive for, the spiritual information. Not talking more than what's needed. Not doing more than what's needed. And impartial. Those are the qualities. Yeah. That's something to register for us. And so he was like that. And please see. Imagine this is our spiritual journey too. Look at these stages here. Generally, in the stages of bhakti, we have sadhu sangha. When we get together, the sadhu sangha is actually sadhu, a sharanagata bhakta sangha. That is how one's a desire to pursue bhakti journey is part. In any case, the Vaishnava sangha. And then we do the bhajan kriya, do the bhajan together. Then the anartha nivritti happens. When the anarthas settle down, then a steadiness comes, that is an ishta. And not only steadiness, but a ruchi comes later, a taste for bhakti. And not only taste, a craving, addiction for bhakti, asakti. And that's it. After that, we just have to wait for the mercy of Bhagavan to give the drop of bhava, where our Swarupa is revealed. And after that is prema. Okay? Oh my God, such a journey. How long would it take? Look at the answers here. Here, this boy, and remember, Chaturmasya is 4 months. The Bhakti Vedantas were staying at his place, at their place, not more than 4 months. See what happened. What did Narada Muni do? Within 4 months, he had a lot of change. We'll see. What did Narada Muni do? What qualities did Narada Muni have? So, Narada Muni, he says, Apashta Kilvishaha. I took the remnants of his Bhakti Vedantas. Okay? Whatever prasadam they were honoring from the lordships, and that is left over, that is Mahaprasad. Narada Muni took those prasad. Yeah. And then Apashta Kilvishaha. When he took the remnants, Apashta Kilvishaha, his sins were washed away. Okay? And Vishuddha Chetasa. Then his chitta become Vishuddha, cleansed, cleared. Yeah. Amazed. Anartha Nivritti हो गया. अभी अभी तो शुरू किया भक्ति होगा. अनर्था निवृत्ति हो गया. Pehले there were not so many anarthas anyway to start with. That boy, his age and the qualities he had, there were not too many anyway. But by this time, Vishuddha Chetasa. And Ruchi Prajayate, he started having the taste for what? The Dharma, the very nature of the transcendental subject matters. He's starting to have Ruchi. And then the taste for hearing increased. Look at that, 27. Askalitamati asakti. His physically also and mentally, both subtly and grossly, he is fixed. He is fixed in Bhagavan. Rupa, Guna, Rupa and Guna, asakti. Leela will come soon. Yeah? He is very much fixed, physically and mentally. And when we say physically, they don't put any external effort to do something physically. When they're so much fixed mentally, and when they have so much of asakti inside, the body will do what it has to do. It is going to show the same thing too. Yeah. You know the Ashtasatvika Bhava, when somebody has the transcendental ecstasy, they don't do it separately for the body. It automatically happens. It automatically happens. That's the beauty. That is why bhakti is inside out. We have to realize that as soon as possible. Really. We have to put our effort, time, and change the direction to inside out. Introspection. It's not about what life is giving to me. It's not about what people are doing to me. It's not about what I get from outside. It's about what am I doing? How am I? How am I reciprocating with the people, with the life? Yeah, introspection. Anyway, yeah, so that is asakti. And this wonderful boy got really fixed with the subject matter of Bhagavan. And he constantly heard Lord's glories from them. They are not ordinary devotees, they are all Sharanagata Bhaktas. This is already bonded glued. Look at the 29th one. I loved them. I loved the Bhakti Vedantas. And I strictly followed their instructions. This is the key in Bhakti Yoga. This is the main distinguishing factor between impersonalism and Bhakti Yoga. There are many saintly people in Brahmavadis and Jnana Marga also. They don't care about having attachment, love, etc. They are just for the detachment. Even with the Guru to detach. Everything is mithya. For Bhakti, this is the distinguishing factor. I love them. This is mamata. Mamata to our Guru Varga. You hear the Srinarottam Das Thakur Acharya songs. What mamata did he have for Ramachandra Kaviraj, Srinivasa Acharya, yeah, and to all the Goswamis? This is Srimad Bhagavatam says, even Devahuti, when he was hearing from Lord Kapila, she says, this attachment to the Sharanagata Bhaktas, this is our pulling force from this world. That is the factor that opens the doors of liberation. Yeah. So, and not only that, this is not only mamata, not only that bonding with our Guru Varga, with that Sharanagata Bhaktas, that is internal thing. What are they? What happens externally as a result of that bonding? Strictly follow their instructions. 29. This is Mahajana Gata Saena Panta. Strictly following their footsteps. Yeah. And what are Mahajanas doing? What are we trying to do? Mahajana's world, Acharya's world, we were discussing the other day. It's all about Nam Ruchi, how holy name is Krishna himself, and how everything is Krishna samsara, not Maya samsara. When we say Mahajana Sayena Panta, Mahajana Gato Sayena Panta, it's all about Krishna samsara, not our mental world. It is Krishna samsara. That is their gati, that is their panta, and we are aspiring, praying and begging for that panta. And in that panta, what is there? Harinam is Nama Rupa Guna Leela Prema. Nama Ruchi. Vaishnavas are the objects of service. Nothing less than that. It's not about how they are treating me. It's about how am I treating them. It's not about what are they thinking about me. What am I thinking about them? Is Trinadapi Sunichana with me? That is my $1 million question and the problem. It's not about what others are thinking about. That's fine. Whatever they want to think, they are very much right. Of course, I'm very conditioned. If they're seeing anything, of course they're right. But my problem is, am I in my mental world or am I in Acharya's world? Acharya's world is Trinadapi Sunichana. Acharya's word means holy name is Nama Rupa Guna Leela. Where is that faith in me? If that faith is not there in me, the other day I was hearing the Katha. In that Katha, Maharaj was saying, if you're chanting and if you're not having spurti of Krishna, you're not chanting. That is Acharya's word. And how far am I from that? That is my problem. That is my sorrow. That is my work in progress. The whole life work in progress is towards the Acharya. That is Mahajana Gata Sayena Panta. If I have such mamata for my Gurujana and Sadhana Sharanagata Bhaktas, I should be doing that. These are the instructions from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Gauranga gave this. What am I doing about it? How much am I doing is a different thing. But where is my focus? Where is my energy and attention? That's what I'm talking about. Not to be discouraged, but the gears have to be switched in that direction. Yeah. And when that happens, again, Krishna is sitting within us as Paramatma. He knows in which direction this car is going, what gear is chal raha hai gaadi. So he would kindly respond. Without his response, we wouldn't be what we are today. So he would continue to be with us. Yeah. So, and then he quickly, then I developed prema. This wonderful boy, Nardaman is narrating. So just by doing this, within less than 4 months, Chaturmasya, all the way from Sadhu Sangha, all this, boom, to prema. Yeah. So he narrated all that to Vyasadeva. And after narrating this, this is why Narada Muni was insisting. What I'm talking to is not theory. I practiced it. In the last life, I did this and I got perfected. It means this works. This definitely works. For me, it worked less than 4 months. For the Kali Yuga Jivas, it's okay, but let them take some few lives or few days, whatever it is, but it does work. So please abundantly glorify Bhakti. This was saying. Yeah. And yeah, so that's remedial measure. after narrating all this, Narada Muni is saying, Etasam Shuchitam Brahmam Tapatraya Chikishita. Please tell me if you have this Tapatraya or not. Tapatraya, 3 types of tapa. Are you bothered by people around you with what they are doing to you? Are you bothered by your own body and mind? This is Adi Adhyatmika Tapa. Bothered by not only people, are you bothered by mosquitoes? Are you bothered by the snakes and lions and any physical being? That is Adi Bhaupika. Yeah? And are you bothered by too much of cold, too much of heat? Yeah, earthquakes, volcanoes. Yeah? That is Adi Daivika. These are 3 tapas. As long as we live in the material world, not that we are not going to go through this. The body mein hai na hum log. We have to go through this. But when we take up the process of Bhakti Yoga, it is like, these soldiers, military men, when they take the training, initially, if it's cold outside, we need jackets. Oh, otherwise, itna shivering ho jata hai, yeah. But if we go to their training, they start with rain or shine. Even if it is snowing, their discipline is so big that even without jacket, they can bear the cold outside. They train the body like that. Please like this for us. We are changing the software, corrupted software inside. The antiviral program shall be Bhagavata. So when the software is disinfected, then we don't react to the power so much. Our focus, our goal is for something that is everlasting. Our ruchi is somewhere else. That is why, though these tapatrayas are happening in the life, they don't disturb us so much. Okay? Without the bhakti, without the internal anchoring, that will be a different chapter. That's what we had before starting the bhakti yoga. But with this bhakti, it gives such a spiritual perception to the life, and the knowledge, the inspiration, the anchoring, direction, and taste to pursue the spiritual journey. Yeah? And this is all the internal magic that happens, which can cause transformation. So that's why the Tapatraya Chikitsita. Chikitsitam is a treatment, Chikitsa. So Narada Muni is saying, for those who have these 3 kinds of Tapatrayas, the Chikitsa for them, the remedial measure for them is Yadishware Bhagavati Karma Brahmani Bhavitam. Let them dedicate all their karma to Ishware Bhagavati. Do the actions for Krishna. That is their Chikitsa, that is their treatment. Okay? We have to do something anyway. ये बॉडी तो है, खाना ही पड़ेगा, वर्क तो करना ही पड़ेगा, लोगों से बात करना ही पड़ेगा, ये सब करना ही पड़ेगा. We have to do it. But if we Krishnaize it, it will put us out of karma cycle. If we just do it our own way, good luck. More and more in there, we will be caught up in karma cycle. So that's what the shloka is saying, to Krishnaize all our activities, so we can get out of the karma cycle. Yeah, that's how the karma is destroyed. This is the last one. Bhakti, personal experience. Narada Muni is saying, now he's about to leave. He has given the instruction to Vyasadeva. He not only diagnosed what the problem is and said what needs to be corrected, and he also described how special bhakti is. He also gave his previous life narration, and as a closing statement, now Narada Muni is saying, see, Vyasadeva, I have done all that in my life. He gave me jnanam, aishwaryam, and swasmin bhavam. We also discussed that in the second, to the questions about the bhakti yoga, how jnanam and vairagyam are byproducts of bhakti, are the same thing here. So jnanam automatically comes, and this jnanam is not the theoretical jnanam. In Sri Sikshashtakam, Vidya Vahujivanam. It's not a theoretical knowledge. It is a realized knowledge. And how do we reach realized knowledge? Because you live it. You don't just say it, you live it. When we live it, it's because we have realized the truth, and that's why we are living it. Bhakti uses that kind of realized knowledge. And Aishwarya, opulence. What Aishwarya can be there more than Bhakti, but all the Aishwarya of the Bhagavan, because you're Bhagavan's servant. The third one is beautiful. Swasmi Bhavam. Bhagavan gives his personal service to us in Bhakti Yoga. That is not available in another yoga. So Sri Narada is saying that, I got all that. Why do you think I'm carrying this veena and singing the glories of Narayana, Krishna? Because I've got all this. I've done Bhakti Yoga, I've got all this, and this is the result of Bhakti Yoga. So that's why, please, 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 Vyasadeva, describe the glories of the Lord abundantly. I'm going to disappear from your view now. I'm going to say two things of why you should describe abundantly about the glories of Vasudeva. Because samapyate vidam bhubutsitam. Samapyate, it will be very satisfying. Vidam bhubutsitam, to those spiritually inclined, sadhus. So for all those who are looking to quench their spiritual thirst, these topics are going to satisfy them. So good for the Paramahamsas too. And Arditatmanam Sanklesha Nirvana. Ardita Atmanam. Ardita, troubles. All those people who are troubled, Sanklesha, their miseries, Nirvana, are resolved. Yeah. So these glories of the Lord will dissipate the darkness and resolve the miseries, mitigate the miseries. Yeah. So the glories of the Lord not only gives the satisfaction to the Paramahamsas who are having that spiritual quest, but also mitigates the miseries of those who are troubled in their lives. This is why, because it is serving both the purposes, satisfying the Paramahamsas and also with the lay people, conditioned souls, these glories mitigate their miseries. This is why Vyasadeva, please abundantly glorify the name, fame, Rupa, Guna, Leela of Vasudeva, Krishna. So those are the instructions and the katha that Vyasadeva got from his Sri Guru Narada. That's how the fifth chapter ends. So we'll pause here. Oh, before pausing, I'm just going to give the synopsis of what we have discussed today, and then we'll pause. So after describing what was there in the first, second, third chapter, we came to the fourth chapter, and in the fourth chapter there were three questions about Vyasadeva and about Parikshit Maharaj and about Sukadeva Goswami, and we've discussed about Vyasadeva in particular. In Vyasadeva, about that question, we have three parts. The answer is in three parts. The first part is Vyasadeva's meditation, introspection of what went wrong, and then Sri Narada Muni comes to him. Yeah, that was the fourth chapter. And in the beginning of the fifth chapter, Sri Narada Muni, he diagnoses where the problem is, and then also comments on the treatment. In the sense, he shows Vyasadeva where he went wrong, that he has glorified Dharma Artha Kama so much. So in order to counteract that, Narada Muni is instructing Vyasadeva to abundantly glorify about Satchit Ananda Vigraha, abundantly glorify the glories of the Lord. After that, Narada Muni has given the reason why Lord's glories are to be abundantly glorified, because they bring the spiritual revolution. Janatagha Viplava, spiritual revolution. While the other subject matters, that is Dharma, the Kama, they are like shelter for the crows only. Paramahamsas don't come there. Paramahamsas, they want to come to the topics of Vasudeva, where a spiritual revolution can come. Yeah, and the topic of moksha, when glorifying moksha, is also not complete, because those topics that have jnana but are devoid of achyuta bhava, na shobhate, they are not complete, they don't look nice. So that's why we should glorify bhakti as such. And also the glories of bhakti are not only they cause revolution, spiritual revolution in the heart, if somebody takes up the process of bhakti yoga and is able to do only a little bit of it, and even then their spiritual account has started, and there is something in the spiritual account, and this bhakti that they have done in this life is going to protect them throughout the life, and is going to come with them in the other lives also, because bhakti is eternal. And also somebody who does bhakti, devotional service to the lotus feet of Govinda, the sweetness is so good, the memories are so good that they cannot forget. And even if they can do bhakti for a long period of time, they are sweetly remembered by these sweet memories, and they cannot give up. That's the sweetness of bhakti. The potency is spiritual account is full and is eternal, but the sweetness is that I don't want to say sweetly haunting, but sweetly intoxicating, that they cannot come out of it. So that's the sweetness of it. And Sri Narada Muni also says, Bhakti Yoga is the only process where it gives a chance to the soul to revive the relationship with Bhagavan. So that's one more reason why Bhakti Yoga should be glorified. After saying all these three things, Narada Muni describes his previous life of how he had association and service of Bhakti Vedantas, and how his life came, from Sadhusanga to Prema, how quickly it happened because of the power of those Sharanagata Bhaktas who were completely absorbed in Bhakti. Their remnants, if taken, they are spiritualized remnants, and that's why we want to take the remnants of advanced devotees and Sharanagata Bhaktas, because they are spiritualized. And that's what Narada Muni said, had. And after that, he describes how much mamata he had for those Bhakti Vedantas, and how he strictly followed in their footsteps. After describing his life, then as a conclusion, Narada Muni says, whatever charity or Vedic knowledge one may have, or activity one may do, anything one may do will not come any close to Bhakti. So that is the uniqueness of Bhakti. That's why Bhakti should be glorified. And as a closing statement, Bhakti not only satisfies the Paramahamsas, but also mitigates the miseries of the conditioned souls. That's why please glorify Achyuta more and more, and write Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the Narada Muni, Sri Narada Muni Uvacha to Sri Vyasadeva. Sri Narada Muni ki jaya, Vyasadeva ki jaya, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jaya. So for the online devotees, thank you all so much for listening. And I don't know what time it is. 9:07. That's not bad. We covered everything. So what we can do is, if it's okay with you all, we'll see if there's a question or something online. And after that, when they're logged off, then we can continue. Is that okay with you? Right?